So how do you improve upon an already incredible rear living floor plan? Well, you tackle an area that oftentimes gets overlooked, and that's the bedroom. So you add a slide out and a huge wardrobe. And this is the 2024 Keystone Passport 3100RE. The RE, of course, standing for rear entertainment, which makes perfect sense because this is where you'll be spending a lot of your time in the theater seating directly across from a massive TV. This floor plan, they basically took the 2870RL and improved upon it, made it a little bit better. Back here is pretty similar, but as I mentioned, up front is where we'll see some of the big changes. But this is probably one of my favorite floor plans, even though they've had it for a long time, this rear living space, having the theater seating across from the TV, having the rear sofa right here on the back so you can have conversation. Plus, this is a tri-fold sofa, so it folds out into a bed if you need to have guests. And of course, you need to have places to put beverages because we're camping, right? We're going to have a few. So you have end tables on both sides, big windows all the way around too, and you can see storage up above, which I always like additional storage. Now, above the slide, they don't have any storage here. They went in favor of larger windows, so you have more window space. This is something we see a lot, especially in travel trailers. Fifth wheels, it kind of goes back and forth, but travel trailers, you're going to lose way too much headspace. They open it up for windows, lights, LED lights right up above. Then, of course, you just have a traditional dinette right over to the side. I'm kind of on the fence. In a floor plan like this, I personally prefer table and chairs over a booth dinette, but it all depends on what you need, right? If you have, say, a little one that comes camping, maybe, your new parents or grandma and grandpa, and, you have a new grandchild, you can kind of take this out or drop this down and have a spot for a pack and play. So I definitely do see advantage there. Plus it's additional sleeping and you get this storage underneath. But seeing as how this is a coach designed for two, again, I personally like table and chairs. But let me know what you think. In the comments, let me know. Are you a dinette person? Are you table and chairs? Because I think it can go either way. And I believe, I'll have to double check, I believe that is actually an option to be able to swap that out in this particular coach. You'll also see that you have night shades on all the windows, which is pretty great. But one of my favorite parts about having a rear living floor plan or rear entertainment, whatever you want to call it, is the fact you get a kitchen island for several reasons. I mean, one, you just get a ton of prep space here, right? Even though they have a nice big sink, they still give you all this additional space. Nice high-rise faucet. This is pull out here. And because it's a thermoformed countertop, they're going to undermount the stainless steel bowl, which is nice. And then underneath, I really like this too. This, in my opinion, was smart design. Not the pulls, because I don't necessarily love them. They're not terrible, but they're not the easiest to open. But what they did is they kept this side open. They put a shelf here, which is smart because it's a P-trap, so that way, they did the best they could with the space, and it gives you pots and pan storage. But they left this open for a trash can, which I just absolutely love. Then we have some additional drawer space here too. Not sure why this is blocked off. That's kind of a bummer for me. I would have liked one more drawer here, but at least these ones are fairly deep, so it's still quite usable. Plus, you have 4 drawers over here with some of that additional countertop space, even though, again, this is a little bit low for me personally. I'd rather have it this height. It's still going to be very workable space. Right next to that's the 3-burner cooktop recessed with the glass cover, and then storage underneath that as well. The only downside I do want to mention of having a kitchen island, just in case you don't know for general knowledge, is that in order to have a kitchen island, you have to have slides on both sides of the RV right across from each other. In the industry, it's what we call opposing slides. And while that's not inherently a bad thing, it opens this space up and gives you a ton of living space, it does cut down on some of the camp space outside, and we'll take a look at that when we go out there in a little bit. The rest of the kitchen, though, again, you have storage up top, microwave hood, and then our fridge freezer. They give you plenty of storage space here. Probably one of my favorite things in the past few years is that so many manufacturers have switched over to the 12 volt. Not that I think compressor driven 12 volt is way better than having gas electric, but the reason I like it is because it allows it to be larger. You'll generally get a 10 cubic foot instead of like a 6 or an 8. You also see they moved the pantry on this floor plan over the 287, and it really is a nice large pantry, especially for being in a travel trailer. And you'll probably get more utility out of this than you would normally in this floor plan when you have kind of like a hutch or bar area here. I think this is definitely a better move. And then right up top, just a little bit of additional storage. And then you kind of have this. I'd probably put coffee machine here, but if you're not a coffee drinker, obviously whatever else you want to put there, you can even use it as like a charging station for your phones. And then some additional storage right there underneath. Main control panel I do want to mention is is very accessible right as soon as you walk in, right across from the door here. And basically everything you will need. You can see that your water pump is there, all of your lights, as well as your tank monitoring panel. And then our slide outs will be located here as well. And the bathroom, honestly, it has pretty good space. I sit here, you can see I have more than enough room for my legs. Shoulder space, pretty good too. I'm bumping a little bit on the left, but no biggie there. Easy access to extra rolls of toilet paper or spray or whatever else you need. Love that. Some additional storage up top for towels, shampoo, and any other goodies. And we even have some storage underneath the sink. So storage, yeah, they did good here. Good countertop space too, more than we see in most, so I'm pretty happy with that. You also get the mirrored medicine cabinet, and this one does have the tankless water heater, plus of course a GFCI plug. Taking a step in the shower, it's 6 foot tall, more than enough space. You can see I have the skylight here as well. You know, nothing crazy, but what I do enjoy is the fact that I can stand sideways and I can close the door here and still have enough room. Something about these doors, they may not be the prettiest, and this one is apparently particularly loud, but the nice thing about it is that you can roll it up even when it's wet, because it is going to be mold and mildew resistant, and that's a huge plus. And now let's talk about the bedroom, because this is going to be the most improved part of the floor plan. I'll start with the really good and then I'll hit on the bad. So really good, you have a king size bed in a slide out. Camper King. It's Camper King. Going to be 70 inches long by 80 inches wide, so you're just a few inches short there. The other thing I really do enjoy is these shelves. You'll see they kind of put those up in the corner, and then you'll have outlets as well as USB ports right above. I think that is smart placement right there. And then, of course, storage across the top, plus the windows on the side. The other great thing about this floor plan, well, once I figure out where the lock is, there it is, found it, is the fact that you have a large wardrobe. Turn the light on for you. So you get huge hanging space in here. Big fan of that. Plus, if you're looking for a camper you can spend a lot of time in, not only does this one have the space, it also has washer dryer prep. Oh baby, love that. If you don't want it, that's great. You can see it has adjustable shelves here, so you can kind of put that shelf wherever you want it. If you do want washer dryer, then this is where it will go. You also have a chest of drawers right down here, plus a place to mount the TV right up top. And take a look at this. I'm actually going to squeeze right over here. The good is more adjustable storage. Oh, sorry, wrong side. There we go. More adjustable storage right over here. The bad, and this is the problem with a lot of king beds, it's really tough to get in and out on this side. That's just not a lot of space, even with the door shut. I have a fairly big butt, but this is just not my favorite. Other than that, they did pretty darn good. So let's talk a little bit about the outside of the Passport 3100 RE, starting off the front end, which you get a power tongue jack. It's going to be super helpful, just beneficial when hooking up or dispatching from your tow vehicle for obvious reasons. Just makes things a lot quicker and easier, especially if you have a weight distribution hitch, because you have to lift it up and then back down and then back up, and it's a pain. And the power tongue jack eliminates a lot of that. Right behind that, you have two 20-pound propane tanks with the cover, rails here for your battery, which, by the way, if you so choose, you can upgrade to the Dragonfly lithium batteries straight from Keystone, so you can get the lithium if you want. And then behind that is your 12-volt distribution box with the battery disconnect. I really enjoy this for a couple different reasons. One, just because everything is neat and organized. The other is, having to hook everything up. A lot of these systems, when you start getting solar, you'll have like 3 different wires to the positive, 3 to the negative. It can be a pain in the butt. Not at all the case here. It does just really simplify everything. Then on the front, you have the diamond plating as well as the 3/4 front cap with your LED light strips on there. Just looks really nice. Coming around to the side here, you'll see the pass-through storage. It does have slam latch baggage doors. Big fan of that. Also magnetic catch, and Keystone has a very unique catch in that with the magnet right here, once it goes all the way up, the pin comes in to help prevent it from falling. So that way, a lot of people had issues with magnets. If the magnets weren't quite strong enough or properly aligned, it would fall and hit you in the head. Now you don't have to worry about that. Pull it out to have it drop back down, but that is a pretty great system. And then taking a look inside the pass-through, you will see that it is quite open. We lose a little bit kind of coming around the back side, but you still have pretty good space over here. You also have a light that is going to be a motion sensor light, just like the one right in the entryway. So that way you can turn on that setting. So when you open it up, obviously it turns on. On that far side, we do have our solar flex system. This one comes standard with the 220. You can upgrade that to 440 if you want. So that will double the panels up top. And that will also give you the inverter, as some of the outlets inside are already prepped for that inverter. If you want outside TV, you can see you can mount one right there, hookups right underneath that. Perfect location, right underneath one of the two awnings. They did double awnings on this one, which I think is an excellent idea on this floor plan. I'll talk about that in just a second. You will see a couple speakers up there for some music as well. LED lights on the awnings, as you would expect. And getting in is absolutely no problem at all. You have the more ride step above steps right here with the aluminum treads. They're not going to rust, nice and easy to set up, plus the larger foldable grab handle, which honestly is almost a necessity with this style steps. Otherwise, it's a really big reach, so I definitely do enjoy that. They also have the tempered glass door, which looks really nice. The Cherokee line was one of the first that used them. They've been using them for a few years now. This is one of the first few brands outside of that I have seen adopt it, but I do really like it. One, it just looks really nice. Two, it kind of hides the fact that you actually have a window right here. So it is tinted, which is really nice. I don't know, I'll open it up so you can take a look here. But it also is what they call thin shade ready, which is a system by Lippert. So you can see that this one already has that installed. So boom, just like that. Now you have privacy at night because, we all know how window tint works, and then can drop it right back down just like so. And as we move on a little bit further, I talked about this when we were inside. One of the biggest issues with having a slide out on the campsite is it does chew into some of the camp space. In order to help combat that, they put on the second awning right here, which I think was extremely smart. So that way you can still kind of utilize this space, even though it might take up some of your campsite. They did the best they could to recover it by the awning usage. Pretty darn smart. A couple other things I want to point out. One of them is the fact this has extended season camping. No, they're not saying camp in the middle of winter, but if you're going to late fall, early spring, you should be just fine. Also, the fact that this one comes with tire pressure monitoring system. The unit is actually inside one of the drawers in the kitchen. That's just for shipping, not where it's installed or anything. But having that is definitely great peace of mind. Nobody wants to have a tire blowout. That is one of the best ways to help prevent it. Coming around to the back, you can see the square tubular bumper. Mounted to that is a spare tire, and underneath that, you can see they actually have a little accessory hitch. So if you want to hook up a bike rack, I think in 2 bikes, I believe you can get on that size receiver, but at least you have that with you as well. This one has 50 amp supply because there is a second AC in the bedroom. That is optional. This one has that option equipped. Climbing up on the roof is nice and easy thanks to the rear mounted ladder. 250 pound weight capacity on there. You can climb up onto that fully walkable roof, and right up there you'll also see this one has backup camera prep. Last thing I want to touch on the outside is actually going to be way up here. You'll see, of course, a couple slides on this side. As we talked about earlier, this one does have the tankless water heater, so that way you can essentially take as long of a shower as you want. But one of my favorite parts about this one is most of the times when you have a slide out king bed, they give you the storage underneath, which they have done here. Would have liked to have seen a light in there, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Storage is storage. Now, as you can see, this is an excellent rear living unit, but if you want something a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to tow, well, check out this Cougar 29 RLI. Pretty similar floor plan. I think you'll like it.